Oh, and you join us here for round 11 of the ATA F1 Championship here at Hungary. And I'm joined in the comms box, as always, by the one and the only HLG RX7. Say hello, Martin.
You didn't add the fat man bit.
I wanted to be nice this week.
But you said my intro was... Okay. Hello, people.
Well, like I said, we're here at Hungary for round 11. We had an interesting race last night. We had some decent battles during the pack in the GP2 division. Let's hope that continues tonight. What's your thoughts going to be on tonight's race, Martin?
Well, considering it's the F1 division, I'm hoping for some even closer racing than GP2. And hopefully some very, very tight battles.
Yes, because there was some very tight battles, and it was very close at the end after everything was calculated. First and second in GP2 last night was separated by 800ths of a second. Very close, but it went to Master Krog in the Red Bull over floodlines last night. Can we predict more of the same tonight as we see one of the drivers heading out on track, which is, I believe, Lucky that's out on track at the moment. I'm not 100% sure.
It is Lukey, yes.
Well, we have one person out on the trap, and it was Lucky as he's leaving, as Trix we see on board with him leaving. Most drivers, I think, will go out, do a couple of runs on these supers. Some people might go onto the softs just to get a banker in, then come back in, wait a little bit, hit out with some super softs, and go for it. Yeah, the only major thing
what I attempted last night and fucked it up.
Yes, same. Murdered at coming up to the tracks in F1 best. It's a high track, so if you know what you're doing,
I don't quite.
It is still very. Look, right here is like very 30 miles an hour. Here was last night. Thank you, Jake Piper. Not saying he's a bad driver. There was a bit of connection issues last night. Hopefully that doesn't affect us tonight with yours. And let's hope we have a good race as we see Lucky come out of the last turn, and he's going to start the lap and set the banker for everyone as he crosses the lane. Martin takes us around this track.
Takes around this track. Oh god, no, I'm not going to remember corners here. But as he's coming down to the first corner, hard on the brakes, locking up. In fact, it's still like a third gear corner though. If you can get a good exit, open up the DRS, you can get very quick down this straight. Hitting about the 50 meter, is it 50 meters, 50 yards, whatever it is, aboard, and brake slightly, but still carry quite a bit of speed around here. Pretty much flat out as you come out. As you come through this next sector, it's a slight lift off, maybe a slight tap, or as he runs slightly wide, that could have invalidated his lap time. Comes up the hill to about the 50 board again, brakes into this little chicane, drives through that chicane very beautifully, in fact, takes all of the road he can. As you're coming through here, it's pretty much full all the way through. Then we come down into, I don't know what the corner's called, but here, I don't remember what corner it is either. Coming in through the final section, as he locks up again, which is going to have lost him a little bit of time. But coming around this fairly open hairpin, I won't call it a tight hairpin.
Oh, and he's coming in,
he
so
goes
he
into
must have invalidated his lap time, or potentially have just lost way too much speed to put in a decent lap time. But well, let's have else as the time for Eve. We have a couple of races that sets the time. It's a 19.1. It's a decent time. We did have people going a second quicker than that in qualifying 18.1s, as we see Trex going in 18.6. Michael
even fast, 18.3.
18.3. And he's in a Renault. Why is he in a Renault? He's meant to be in a Sauber, is he not?
That, sir, is a very good question. He is meant to be in.
He may have did a swap. I'm not 100% sure, with him not being very informed. I thought I just saw.
I don't think the driver swaps quite easy if they take place at the end of the transfer. So
breaking news: I see rain. So if they're not out in a lap right now, they are not getting a lap in. Craig Senna, before we even come on stream, he's missing qualifying as he's actually having his dinner, which is a bit of a bad time to be doing it, if I'm going to be brutally honest. But Lucky's still in the pits, so his lap time is going to put him right at the back. which is really not good. But if
Actually, it doesn't look like Craig is coming out.
he is getting out. He's on the... Both Red Bulls are actually coming out, so they really had to get those cars turned out quickly. But the rain is coming down, and I'm not sure if it's going to be heavier than what it is now. But Michael's coming in, so I don't think he's going to be sitting on another lap. There's quite a few people... Oh, is he... Lots of understeer coming in there. Quite a lot of people are coming out of the pits. Digital out in the lap. Is he improving though? We'll need to wait for that second split.
Oh yep,
Just
JJ
goes round the
retired.
fast
He's
left
span
hand
hit a wall.
right-hander. He's down by 7/10. That may be on his best, or may even be down on the leader. I'm not quite sure as of yet. It's comes round to open the hairpin, left-hander to penultimate corner around here. I think this is a very good. The first and second sectors all straight line speed, but the middle sector is what you need. You need all the turning, you need all of the grip, and I'm not sure anyone's going to make it to do another lap, as Craig Senna's just about to go start one, but it's going to be getting very, very wet, and I don't really think it's good to be out right now on dry tiles. But he is going to go start a lap, which I'm still unsure why he's doing that, but here he goes. He's out the final turn, gets very wide off the exit, opens that DRS, keeps it flat. Brakes about the 100-meter board, hard down at third, turns in nice and early, gets that. Ooh, goes a little bit wide, that's not going to be good, it's going to lose a lot of time, potentially may have lost him his lap, because turn 1, technical 2 that is, which is turn 4, and up here at turn 5, if you turn into it earlier, run wide at the exit there, touch curb, you can validate your lap time. There's quite a few places on this track that you can easily invalidate your lap time on. The chicane potentially obviously is going to be the main one, but hopefully we can gets on that tough turns, the car a bit sideways there, but he is definitely want to put that lap time in, so I think it was not that far behind him as we see him coming up to the fast turn. I don't know the number of these tracks around the opening.
I think we both don't then, innit?
But when we get to tell you all the names, because we know them off by heart, as he pulls in, and I think most of these, as Lucky is actually going to go finish his lap, just to put it on the board so he's not starting dead last. But I think most of these drivers are just going to leave it as it is, as Lucky goes 10th. Nothing too spectacular, but with the wet conditions that are coming down, as you can see there on the screen, the wet tyres, as he locks up big time into turn 1. But yeah, it's going to improve. It's going to improve. I think people will just be getting out there on a Master Optical. I think people will just be getting out there just to get their eye in. I don't have no idea whether it is for the race.
Other that, here's the interest. Luke keeps saying his lap. If it's meant to be the race, he'll be on eyes if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he would.
He's more tyre damage by driving leather, and then if it's dry. Interesting decision.
As Michael's actually your pole center. I realised, yes, I did actually. As we have on pole with 3 minutes 10 to go, 18, and Buckingham is an 18.7, so just behind him. There's your.
Like it's not going to dry up again with people
no,
retiring.
I don't think it's going to dry up. But Skyline's going to try and improve. I doubt that you're going to improve because it is the wet conditions, but DRS is still available, so it's not damp enough, it's not wet enough for DRS to be disabled, but it's still use the full potential of the car with the extremely max settings that you can get now on these cars for F1 2017. Predictions on the race, because as of last night,
that's very sideways.
Yes, very drifting Haas there. Very unusual to see an F1 car go sideways, as he does it again. Tokyo drifts, and he's in the wall. And lost his front wing, and I guarantee that's him going to retire that car. Say that, he does.
It's my predictions for the race.
Definitely your qualifying grid now. So Michael's definitely got pole with Trex in second. Baconium Digital from JB, then from JJ, Skyline, Optical G, I's the best, looking for season so far. I'll give you a rundown quickly, as this is what we were given at the start of this session. Your current leader is who we're on board with right now, that is BTS. Then you have goes in second, 92 points, Digital's on 121. Craig Senna and Brutal Reaper, I think, who his gamer tag now.
Russell Shack now.
Russell Shack, that's one, thank you, is on 57. Baconium's on 54, I's the best on 52 in the Ferrari. Ryan Toro Rosso's on 48, JJ Gamer's on 43. And as we have Master Optical G still as BTS Digital. Digital does retire, as so does Master Optical G. Well, we already have the grid. Martin, if you wouldn't mind taking a screenshot of that goodness.
Yes, I have done.
So, we also have JJ Gamer on 43, BTS Switch is on 31, on equal points with JB Racer, who's 1 point ahead of Trex, with Lucky on 18, same as Master Optical G, and IGN, I've forgotten his rest of his gamer tag, is on 4 points. Legends. IGN Legends, that's the one. Thank you, Martin. There's a reason why you're here. So that's that's the only that have scored. The rest of them either have left, so their points don't count, but they will still towards the championship rivals, the teams. Fortunately, we don't have that, but from what I know, it is. I don't know my quick maths, unfortunately. I'm not a big check. But yes, we have dry weather. So with Lucky on those tiles, as Lucky has started the race,
he does really up.
He may be getting a penalty. I will just quickly send Skyline and him aware of that.
I will do so that we don't mess
yes,
up
if you wouldn't mind. So we will be underway very shortly. It's not very good because people didn't get the setups right. They didn't get the strategies sorted out. So this race is going to be very interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix as we go to 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away they go. It's a very sluggish start from them all, as there's some, and Michael's tries to go as Baconium going to get one inside. Baconium tries to go round as there's a touch between the Haas and the Mercedes. Mercedes is round, and so is the Haas.
Oh,
that's beaten. That was I think that was one of the Haases. I can't make sure who that was. I think that may have been JJ Gamer. Trex Electric is somewhere. He's actually your leader at this point in time, as they come across the timing strip now. Trex in the lead for Baconium is right back over the car to come into the time. As we look back, who's got Trex ahead of him, and there you see Baconium base. I think they're very on the car, as you need to have all the downforce. These cars are going to be very as Michael does, maybe to break it or maybe in. As he's up to the Trex. Look down, we see Baconium. Line's not that far. Optical G is the best behind him. Craig Senna's behind him. Racer, TS Digital, and it was JJ Gamer was the other one who has broken their front wing. Digital managed to get away with, but JJ he'll stop at see what all on.
He also gets a stop go.
Yeah, that was most likely for speeding, as it just went left of your screen. But as you see, your leader is Trex, who has a 0.3 of a second gap over Michael, but Michael won't let him extend that. As JJ goes on to the mediums, he may be going for the longer strategy, as Craig Senna is on the softs, and BTS Digital was on the softs. I don't think Digital qualified in the softs, but he didn't make a stop either, if I'm not mistaken. So,
not entirely sure.
So as they come round, it's a 3 top spot at the moment. It is Trex, who's got a half-second gap to Michael, has a half-second gap to thereabouts. Then has gap back to Skyline, but it's very tight between JB and Lucky, who's right there as you see it. It's a 4 train to the best, so these cars don't have DRS at the moment. It is literally all about the car and the setup. If you can get the slips, the acceleration out the last corner work, sits the fast lap of the race. Very early days yet in this race. We are on lap 3 now with 33 laps actually to go, as they've only completed 2. But yes, as we don't see as we go game. Sir, if you wouldn't pop spottle for me, Martin.
Yep.
As we are with JB Gamer in the Force India, look away past. Try to look for way past the Ferrari, who's yet actually trying to catch up to the back of the Renault of Master Optical G. There is a tiny bit of lag in the lobby that hopefully doesn't really affect much, as looking Craig Senna are laying astern behind each other in 8th and 9th. So, with even though Craig started in dead last essentially, he's actually not done a bad start, to be honest, up to 9th. He's in the points. He needs to try and claw some points back. As you remember, he at 9 points. There is a gap between. Well, there's a big gap. JB Racer and 10 to create a third. But easily can change that. But there's a big gap between Michael and the championship. We go to further back. There we're on board with Lucky as we see. Ice the Best going to try and get on the back, as DRS has been activated since the start of the lap. And he is looking outside us. That was a dive and a half. What a move by Ice the Best, but get the exit as Master Optical down the outside. Stick. So Ice the Best going to lose out around outside and try and hug that inside line. What a move, JB Racer, to hang around there, but Ice the Best isn't done yet. He has to try and defend from Lucky. Oh, that was, guys, a 5-way place. Justin. Oh, gets a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 6 as Ice the Best has the line. Oh, bit up there, but that was fair. Not sure if I would call that a fair fight. He was alongside. As we see, pressure now. Master Optical G's getting 5th of this. Oh,
yes, well, not much has changed now. There's been a few mistakes there by and Michael, but the gaps sort of stayed roughly around the same. A little bit of time lost, but not too much. They're sticking around the same kind of.
As for the back, see JB Racer come on the back. Oh, does he go down inside? Oh, doesn't make it stick, but can he? No, he was a bit compromised with that exit, as Craig gets a little bit squirrely under acceleration. But with all of that back, the one that actually spun it has to catch to them. So setting 9 laps on soft tiles, he's on a softer compared to JB and all of those, as Craig Senna gets corner. It's very easy to get the corner cut and penalty here, especially once they've just went through a very run wide on exit, blind kink at the top of the hill. But it's also easy to turn in too early and cut. As we look back to see JJ in a lonely 11th place. But up the front, so far, 5 have Trex, who's a second ahead of Michael, but Michael is trying to close. But it's the same to Baconham as well, as Baconham but early and his traction. He's going to lose a chunk of time now to Skyline. GP2 driver for the Haas team is doing their job with 4th place, so good solid points for the Haas. Made a mistake. He's actually gone for Optical G. We didn't see that pass, but there is a battle further back as Craig Senna looks down to go down the inside. Oh, a bit of contact between Craig. But it's a drag race now. Is he going to keep the space on JB Racer? Oh, it's so tight between them. Oh, he goes right down the side. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Oh, there's contact again. Oh, that's unlucky for Craig. No, and that's going to have damaged the front of his wing. That was hard racing. I don't think that was malicious in any way. That was solid hard racing there, ladies and gentlemen. That was purely a racing incident. That was nothing. If you wouldn't mind taking a of that, we were watching that little battle there, Martin, just in case.
Yeah, I'll record the last minute.
But,
hopefully I got that.
As you can see there, he has a broken front wing, and that is going to severely hamper his chances. I had the same issue. I had a broken front wing in last night's race, but I still managed to hold off. But I still had some pressure coming from Matty GB, the other Williams driver in GP2, apart from my other half here in the comms box. But that was fair.
He's been having some real issues with that back end of his car.
Say that again, sorry?
Sideways every single turn. Bacon seems to be having rear end problems. He's sideways through pretty much every corner, and now he's lost a chunk of time to the 2 leaders.
Yeah, he must have some sort of issue with either balance with the car. He's got it a little bit too further back, and it's obviously giving him a bit of oversteer, or it's his actual suspension geometry and setup. As Craig Senna comes into the pits, he's most likely to go onto either anal sitting onto. Oh, as he gets a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. Yep, as I suspected, Bacon would get pinged for that corner cut there. Everyone in this lobby is a very clean driver. We do have these instances as Bacon is trying to take every liberty he can at the moment. But there is a big chunk back, but Skyline can see him. Skyline can see Bacon and will be using Bacon as a reference, as he has Eyes the Best all over the back of him. So out of nowhere, Eyes the Best has closed up a chunk of time on the back of Skyline as he tries to go down to the inside. Is he going to make this move stick? Yes, he does, and moves up into 4th place. That's a great overtake there from Eyes the Best. But he may succumb to DRS as Skyline will have it. But will he try and break it? Oh, as Skyline comes into the pits. And I think this will be either for Sims or a pit of Sirs as he. Let's watch this pit stop. Michael's in the pits as well as he goes on to soft tyres. What will Skyline go on to? He goes on to a set of softs as well. So I think they're taking my strike because I went from soft softs again. So these softs will take you about to lap 24, lap 20 from now. Potentially put on a set of supers in there. But he gets pinged again, extensions. But as some of these drivers will be making their stop now in the next couple of laps as well. But everything will start to kind of.
You'll be surprised. But say the super softs can go about 11-12 laps if you look after them. So
yeah,
some of them you still have a little while yet.
Yeah, that's if you look at as we have a nice three-way battle between my G Racer and is close rapidly on the back force end.
Trex is the pits.
Keep on it. I will cover that one quickly. As Trex is coming in, Bacon is going to go for another lap. What is Trex going to go on to now? I believe that is softs he's going on to. Diddly damn though, as we see the maid. As Beetle has managed to drop from the back of
oh, it's going to be him and
Michael.
Yeah.
So that is game for Michael. He was hounding the back lap. That outlap, the in-lap, very well for him to close that gap up as Bacon gets pinged again for 3 seconds of track. So as we continue with this, we're on lap 9 at the moment. As it is, we have Craig's bit at the moment. We have Bacon as your leader. You see there on your screens as he goes a bit wide again. I think he needs to come in now as he's going to lose a chunk of time. As well,
he needs to come in 100%.
Yes, as we have Ferrari of Eyes the Best 2 seconds behind, and 2 seconds behind them is Lucky in the Red Bull. We have Master Optical G in the Rhino, who's closely been followed by this battle for 5th place, which is between JB Racer and Digital. Is that going to change? No. He was thinking about it there, Digital, but he thought better of it. But he didn't get the best.
On the back of Bacon Yum as well, as Bacon Yum goes into the pits, and Eyes the Best continues. Or Bacon Yum's outbeats himself into the pits there.
JB and Master Optical G. Oh, is it? Oh, there's contact who's going to get the position. JB steals the position from Master Optical G there in the pit lane. That's very interesting. As we see Bacon who has gone on to a set of softs. Does he get ahead of the Rhino? Oh, he just in front of the Rhino there. Oh, it's a very, very.
JJ the game is tired.
JJ. Oh, JJ's managed to lose it. Yes, he has. He's lost it big time. That potentially may even be a safety car, as the safety car is being turned back on as it has been patched. We don't know at this moment in time, but at the moment, Eyes the Best is your leader as of right now, as we see bits of carbon fibre as well around the side of the track. He's your leader 3 seconds ahead of Digital, but Digital is on a fresher set of supers, who is actually ahead of Michael, who's on an even fresher set of supers, who is ahead of Trex, but not by much. As you see, that's your gap between first and second. It's 3/10. So,
let's point out you got the tyres wrong. You said that Digital and Michael are on supers. They're not.
Sorry, what was that, mate? Martin?
You just said that Digital and Michael are on supers when they're not. They're only on normal softs.
I do apologise. Still going for another lap, so he obviously thinks he can take these a little bit longer and potentially even do a one-stop if he so dares it, because a couple of people last night did the one-stop, as Trex is.
I think that will involve doing mediums.
But Trex has dropped back a little bit from Michael. But at the same time, Michael is gaining even a little bit more on Digital. As we look further back in the pack, as we see Skyline there. the lone Haas now in 5th place, as his teammates just unfortunately crashed out. Beckingham in the Williams is dropped back from that high of 3rd place so far. Luckett is doing very well as he's in 7th after his start. JP Racers managed to recover a little bit as well, and same with Mathrog G. Unfortunately, he's dropped back down a little bit. We have Craig still driving, but I'm not even sure if he's currently in the lobby. I think he may have left it, but I don't think he's retired the car. But again, at the front at the moment, it is this man. He's the best in the Ferrari, the number 24. He is still on the supers. He must be making his pits either in the next 2 laps or so as he comes in now. So the leader has pitted, and this will release BTS Digital, Michael and Trex on the softs, I should say, on softs this time. As there we see the change there just before the start finish line. But Trex has managed to drop back a bit from Michael. He doesn't even have DRS, so he's just out of DRS zone. So now is the long game. When will Michael pass him? If he does pass him, because BTS Digital owes us a pit stop already. But it's when he's going to make that pit stop, because they are on the same compound of tyres, but obviously they're not on at the same time, so Michael's on the fresher set. Same with Trex behind, as you saw there.
Well, digital, that's for sure. So we'll have to try and buy his time, look after those tyres and make the most of what he can.
As they're actually about to come up to lap the absent Craig Senna now. As he is ghosted, I don't think that will affect them too much, but they don't want to be stuck behind the ghost of Craig anymore, as it already is, as I think the ghost has moved out of the road. No, it's not, as it's going to now, as the ghost freaks out and has to like jink out of the road there. But meanwhile, whilst this is happening, there is a little battle going between Beckenham and Skyline, which is closing up rather rapidly as Beckenham goes down the inside, tries to make a move. Doesn't work out at the moment, but he is going to try and push that car, put it in a rich fuel mix. As we see, Michael is closing up to the back of BTS. He's going to try and go around the outside.
Went for it again.
Oh, but
we'll have DRS. He's so close. This should be a case of passing him on the straight.
Oh, as we see, Trex trying to go around the outside of Michael, as BTS is trying to defend it. It's a 3-way battle here. And remember, BTS Digital is on much older tyres. He came on the end of lap 1.
Beckenham made the pass on Skyline under DRS. Fairly simple pass for him. Gets the slipstream DRS.
Yeah, it's up front. Yeah, up front is where the battle is. It's between these 3 digital Michaels and Trex. All these drivers are very talented in their own right, very different driving styles. As Michael runs a little bit wide, that's going to lose him a little bit of time to Trex. Going to lose him a little bit of time to Digital, and Trex is going to close up. But you need to remember, all these cars, with the various setups that these drivers have, all have their strengths and weaknesses. One of these cars might warn a slightly lower downforce, which would be good for the upcoming, the end of Sector 3 and the start of Sector 1. As Digital makes his second pit stops, Trex. But the question is, where is BTS Digital going to slot into all this? This is your battle for the lead now, as Michael has DRS from the back of Digital. Very late in the brakes there was Trex. Both have DRS yet again for the second DRS.
Digital comes out in 8th, behind.
Yeah, so Digital I think has done what I did last night. He's going to probably go another laps on these again supers and try and change. As Skyline is catching up to the back of Beckenham, but Ice the Best has got a 3-second penalty. As Ice the Best is actually catching on to the back of Skyline, so this is a battle for 4th place that you're seeing right here. Just keep an eye on that first place battle between Michael and Trex, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep.
As Eyes has through that second running a higher down. Just come through here. This is the best corner on the track, I think. That fast right handle there at the end of the sector 2. You can take that section flat if you Dale. I mean, you can take it flat
Michael sets the fastest lap.
Yes, as you see that at the bottom left of your screen. But at the moment, every one of these racers that are still around are going to be guaranteed points, as JJ Gamer has unfortunately crashed out, so he's going to be still on 43 points in the championship. But as we see, Skyline still leading over as the best for 4th place. But as these guys keep battling, Bakingham's just going to stretch his legs ever so slightly over this. It's 12 seconds down on Trex.
Close the gap on Michael as well, down to 3/10.
Yeah, as we go now with Trex, as we see the McLaren Honda trying to close down the Renault of Mr. Michaels. Just keep an eye on the Eyes the Best battle with Skyline there for us. As we see JB Racer and Lucky also getting in a nice tight little battle. As we look at that. The BTS Digital is actually not that far behind him, but he's going to be on much fresher tyres than these guys, as they've already been on them for a couple of laps. As the Best is trying to do everything he can to catch up to the back of Skyline, but at the moment it's not to the best of his abilities, as Michael goes a little bit squirrely out of turn 1. I'd forgotten the last turn. But as they come down here to turn 1, breaks at about the 100-metre board, turns in nice. Is he going to try and pick up the throttle early? Shifts up a little bit early as well, just to minimise that loose slip. But Eyes the Best is under the back of that wing of the Haas, goes to the inside, and he's going to make that under brakes.
There's also another battle here for 6th as well. Eyes the Best has made the pass onto Skyline in the first turn. Skyline is trying to fight it back though. Just not quite enough.
As Lucky's going to try and get a cut back on, JB's trying to get the cut back on Lucky, but isn't doing much, as there is quite a few tasty battles now, which I'm very much enjoying to see. So we have Eyes the Best in 4th, ahead of Skyline by a couple of tenths now. Lucky is still ahead of JB Racer and Digital, as he's holding them up very easily. But at the same time, whilst these guys are in a little bit of battles, they're actually closing up, so we may even have a 5-driver pack for 4th place. If these guys all don't keep battling. As we see now, the lock up there from Lucky, which is going to allow JB just to close up a little bit. Same with BST Digital. But in all this, you see Master Optical G there in 9th place in essentially clean air, so he can attack the track as much as he wants with his tyres and not be affected by these battles. As you see a big lock up there from Lucky, that's going to start hindering him at some point, as he may develop a flat spot. Not that you get them in this game, but the degradation from the flat spot is what's going to kill you with it.
As Digital's going around the outside. Ooh. Tried to make it stick, just not quite enough grip. As Bakingham picks up another 3-second penalty.
No, as Skyline has been gapped by Eyes the Best, so that's a done deal there. But again, as you look from television cam from Lucky, but they are definitely catching up to the back of Skyline, so they're definitely working like a train. So the guys behind are not trying to actually overtake each other. They are battling. Don't forget, these guys are actually battling, but the pace that these guys are following, which is Lucky's pace, they're actually gaining little bits of ground on Skyline each lap. So if they don't have a massive squabble between the three of them, as we see BTS Digital, I do apologise, closes right up to the back of the gearbox of that Force India out of JB Racer, I should say.
Well, Trex was looking to make a move on here, and Michael has closed that gap very, very nicely here. He's biding his time at the moment, trying to find the right opportunity to get this pass, as he can't quite carry the speed through there. Not sure how Michael was going to go.
As unfortunately we have that little sound glitch, as you can see there on the stream. It's just constant red line in Honda, which doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. But we won't go into that as I digress. As we look back at this battle for the lead, as Lucky picks up another 3-second penalty, but like I did speak,
He's on the back of Skyline though.
Yeah, like I was explaining a couple of laps ago, they are closing rapidly onto the back of Skyline. So we do have a battle for 5th place. And it's a 4-way battle we have here, as it's now down to the pace of Skyline, as I don't think he's really up to the pace of these guys, as Luki is right under that gearbox, right under that rear right, as JB Racer tries to go to the inside. Is he going to make the pass stick? No, JB doesn't.
He does the same thing down the inside of Skyline. It's still side by side.
Around the outside, he's going to lose a position.
Though, so he's going to have to give that position.
Oh. Sorry, cut crusher there. Is JB's going to... Is Luki trying to go down inside? No. But BTS is going to try and get down inside of JB as there's a bit of contact. Oh, they keep it. They managed to keep all 4 cars there, still running. This is getting very intense as Skyline goes defensive.
As DRS opens, Skyline's going to get past.
Yeah, Skyline just breezed past as Luki does lock up again. So potential for something to happen as BTS Digital, as you see there, has swapped positions with JB Gamer. That's definitely changed for 7th. Ooh, Digital tries to go up the inside of Skyline, but Skyline shuts the door, slits his face, and says, "No, you are not." As we see Digital trying to go around the outside, is he going to do it? No, he's a smart man now. Doesn't want to try and do it up the inside there at turn 5. As Luki is going a bit wide, not the ideal line as you do there. As you see Skyline tries to take it, as he loses a little bit of traction at the back end there. Skyline does. Oh, and he's missed his braking marker and has to actually take the escape road and allows those guys to just race on there. So out of all of that, even though those 2 drivers...
Digital.
Yes. So, unfortunately, with those drivers actually staying in that train, potentially they could even try and like claw that 4-second gap to Ice the Best, who's in 4th in the Ferrari. As Master Optical G gets another penalty, unfortunately, for corner cutting this time. As
what's happened there? But seems to have lost a lot. He's down to over a second gap.
Oh, is there contact between the 2? Now. Contact back there between and Digital. Digital has. He's just driving the way. He was driving. I think he was trying to like find a safer spot to spin it, unfortunately. But that's his day done. And no more points for Digital. So if Michael keeps this, race win with 15 laps to go when they finish this, there'll be another 25 points for the ex-Sauber driver, I should really say. But Trex is not letting him get away with. But with all of that, Master Optical G is out as well. I didn't see what happened to him, but
neither did I actually.
I have no idea what happened to him, but unfortunately, that's 3 drivers we've lost now. Unfortunately, out of all of this,
looks like
come across the line to start.
G might have just retired himself. He doesn't look like he has any terminal damage according to the incidents.
Maybe a disconnect, unfortunately.
Possibly.
As we see the battle for 1st place here, going with, as you see from the back of the Renault, it's down Michael place. Can Honda get past Mr. Michael? Is he potentially even going to attempt to do the same strategy, going a lap earlier? Oh, as he does go a little bit wide, he's going to lose a little bit of time there. This has been a very entertaining race, don't you say?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of battles, and to be fair, I think there's been more than there was in June.
Definitely.
So, and we had more turn ups, to GPT. It shows you it doesn't matter what the numbers are, you can still have an interesting race.
Yes, you can. As Trex is definitely trying to close up to the back of the Renault, but like I said, each car has their own little setup, and it's just where the edge they can find it. Trex just loses a little bit of time as he takes a tighter straight line that final. But that egg Michael, as he's going to try and tuck in, makes it under the rank of the, he's going to try and, as he goes to the of it. As we look from Trex's perspective now, still has that DRS as you can see there. He's going to try and go inside. Saw a bit of a gap, but thought better of it. He wasn't going to try and make some sort of stupid mistake. He's just got a cooler head than that. As we'll give you a quick rundown as we have a little bit of a lull at the moment, but we're watching this battle with ferocity. But at the moment, it's the battle for the lead, as you can see on screen right now, is between the Renault, as you can see there, of Michael and the McLaren Honda of Trex Select. You have Beckingham, who's 12 seconds back, who is got a gap between I's the best. Lucky is in 5th, Skyline's in 6th, JB and Craig sending around out the rest of the runners at this moment. As Skyline picks up a penalty there.
Trex gets a very good run here on Michael. His gap doesn't seem to be changing a hell of a lot.
No, there's a little ebb and flow between it. There's sections where Trex gains it, but then this corner here, he needs to follow Michael and try and get as much of a good exit. But from what I know, I think Trex runs no assists on this game. He uses the wheel and runs no assists. Is he trying to go around that side? Is he going to try and go for a cutback? No, didn't have the angle for it. Is he going to go for the inside? No, doesn't think of it. If you're brave enough, you can throw it up the inside and try and make it stick. But in the same time,
you have to be very brave about it.
You have to be very brave, and the other car has to be made aware that he is coming up the inside. As Michael runs a little bit wide, that's going to try and give Trex a little bit, but he again doesn't get the traction down. As Skyline looks to be closing up to the back of Lucky from the tower on the left hand side of your screen. As we see this battle now just raging on between these two. They've been going hammer and tong from the go essentially. So what's your thoughts on the race so far? As we have a yellow flag in sector 2, Mum.
We do have a yellow flag, and I'm not entirely sure why we have a yellow flag. I think that might be for the sake of Skyline's around, but I'm not sure.
Oh, as Trex is going to make the early pit stop. Like I said, this is the time now where you could potentially go into another set of softs, or you could go into another set of supers. As we are going to watch this pit stop, what is he going to go into? I think that is super. Yes, that is super softs. So, as we see the pit stop from the McLaren Honda boys, that is a good stop. Fortunately, we don't have a delta for the pit stop, as I's the best is about to come past, but that won't be for long as he is due a pit stop. So, can Trex now hammer this outlap and gain that time back on Michael?
And the other question is when, because I definitely think he's got another one coming his way. So
yeah, Michael owes us another pit stop, but he will potentially also go on to the supers as well, as Lucky's made the pit stop, and so has Skyline. Lucky's been on the supers, and what has... Oh, as Skyline has to make a nose change and goes on to the softs as well. JB's went on to the mediums. When was that? Let's have a quick look.
I think he might have been on those for a while.
Let's have a quick look. Let's go on to JB Racer. When did he make that pit stop?
Actually, no, he only made that pit stop on lap 21.
Ah, we missed that. Okay. But at the moment, as
onto the mediums though,
as the leader comes in to make his pit stop, doesn't want to run the risk of getting a 5-second penalty. As we see, Mr. Michaels making that pit stop now. As
Trex is coming into the final couple of corners.
And it is a set of softs. You keep an eye on Trex whilst I watch Michael. It's a set of supers as he's been released and away.
Trex is coming past the start-finish line any minute.
As Michael's coming
very close.
Here he comes, and even bigger. Yes, an even bigger gap now. So Trex now has to drop the hammer, essentially go for it, as I's the Best is coming out in 4th place, comfortably ahead of Lucky. So that's cemented his position. But at the same time, we have Bakenyum, who's currently your leader in the Williams. He owes us a pit stop as well. He will go on to the supers, more than likely. And the question is, can he actually essentially try and take that 3rd place away, as Digital has now officially left the session? Can he take that place away from I's the Best, who's in 4th, but potentially maybe in 3rd when all the stops have finished? But the question is now, can Trex hunt down Michael and make that position, as there is your leader. Mr. Michaels in that number 25 Renault against the number 15 of Trex.
The other thing we have to remember is Lukey was once ready up early, and the rules have got a lot more strict on that now. If you ready up pretty much straight away and you don't give people time to do their stuff, you do get a 10-second penalty added.
Yes, but that'll be added on.
Added to the end of this race.
From what was discussed after last week's incident with Guy Cunnington, he got the 10-second penalty added onto his race time last night.
That was because the 10-second penalty wouldn't have affected his race at all. It wouldn't have changed any of his positions or anything. So we wanted to make it clear, make sure the punishment stuck as something that will affect you.
Oh, if you did hear a bit of that static there, I do apologise.
I would think so. I bloody heard everything.
As Lucky hits
if the 10 seconds does affect Lukey, then it may be given to him now.
So Lucky is 12 seconds behind Eyes, but yet is only 5 seconds ahead as Michael runs a little bit wide there. That gap is slowly coming down between the pair of them. It is only a 3-second gap between Michael and Trex, as Trex can actually see Michael in the distance there as we were
I'm surprised that gap was so big after the pit stops, though, to be fair.
I'm very surprised at that as well, because they were right behind each other. Potentially it may have not been as clear cut. Maybe Michael had a better in-lap, as Baconium is coming into the pits now, as that will release Michael, and it'll also release Trex, who obviously doesn't get any DRS because he's so far behind Michael. But the question is, can he come out ahead of Eyes the Best, or is Eyes going to snatch that podium from him?
Well, as I'm on board with Eyes, he's come around the final corner.
And he is going to get clear ahead. Let's watch this. Eyes has taken third place.
Let's keep it.
Eyes takes third place. But Baconium has just come out in a fresh set, as Eyes has been on these for a couple of laps now, so he's been rubbered in, so it's going to be hell-bent for level now for these lads. As we see...
It's going to involve Baconium putting that hammer down.
Yes, it is. Just exactly like it is for Trex, as he is 3.3 seconds behind Michael.
That gap's not really changed for a little bit, so I'm not sure if he can do it at this point.
The real question is what actually happened to Trex to lose so much time? Did he have to make a nose change or something? I didn't see anything on there. Potentially, did he have some sort of hold? I don't actually know. But that was a smooth and clear pit stop, and would have been actually dropped a lot further back if he had some sort of penalty. I think it potentially may have been his outlap. His outlap may have not been so clean as he wanted it to.
I mean, yeah, that could have been the problem. I mean, if he stays in this position and doesn't make any mistakes, we will be able to find out during the podium talks. So,
and don't
stay
forget, guys,
tuned for that information.
Yes, and don't forget, next week, guys, we have Belgium for the GP2 and F1, guys. You can catch the GP2 stream next week with Craig and Michael, and then you can catch me and Martin here on the Friday next week as well with the F1 race at Belgium. I think Belgium's going to be a very, very interesting race, because we have some quick guys in GP2 and some very quick guys in F1.
Here's what I'm predicting for Belgium. I reckon there'll be a couple crashes. Going up the hill for a Rouge is going to be dangerous. You have to get that spot on to be flat out, and I think people will try and risk it.
Yeah, well, I've been practicing. I've not practiced yet, as of yet, with my my wheel, but I took a break last night from the wheel to use the pad, and I was a lot more comfortable with the pad last night. I'll be using the wheel next week, so I should hopefully have some good racing with that.
So you're not finishing the race?
Oh, I will be.
Sorry, Dom. I hate to be this, but it ain't happening.
He finished last night, got points. That is going to start continuing from now on.
Oh,
when we get to Singapore,
doing right now, we are actually doing, since this is it should be on Saturday the 2nd, so next Saturday we will be doing a charity live stream, which will be going for about 12 hours. We're not sure entirely what time we're starting yet, but as long as nothing big that's happening, we'll be playing several games, which can vary from Fortnite to maybe F1, depending on how we're feeling.
Well, that'll be a for doing F1. Potentially some Call of Duty gameplay as well.
Call of Duty, even maybe some FIFA from some people. Some more people are into it than others.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, definitely look out for that.
I mean, hopefully on Saturday, it's going to pick up a 3-second penalty. I think it's going to be about 11 o'clock British time, that is.
Roughly when we're supposed
in the
to be
morning.
starting.
So it'll be about 10, 11 o'clock British time in the morning. If there is any of you Yankee Doodles watching this stream, well, yes, we will be streaming it on the ATA on the ATA site on the stream as we're on the now. Good choice of word. So
Yeah, great words.
yes, fantastic. So we hopefully see something come of this, but at the moment, looking from tricks. He's got 5 laps to try and he's picked up 3-second time penalty. That's going to really hinder him now to try and get that gap. So I think this is more than a done deal unless Michael gets a penalty, which I haven't seen as of yet.
I think I have seen him get one for the penalties now. No, actually, I'm mistaken. Doesn't look like he does have one. So I'll just put Michael in a bit more of a comfortable position.
Yes, as he already has.
Oh no, Michael does have one 3-second penalty, but it's not enough to really hinder the positions.
No. Really doesn't at this moment. It's just about a 4-second gap to and Michael. At the moment, I think the deal is there is 5 as they've crossed the line. It's fun. So I forgot what I was going to say now.
You tell me.
If I remember, we're both.
Kinyama's is the best.
Oh, back to
action!
Oh, there's a bit of contact, but that late, unfortunately. Well, there was a potential move going to be happening there, but unfortunately we didn't catch that. We caught that very late as we saw the Williams going sideways into the barrier. Kept out of the barrier, rightfully enough. So there's no damage on the front wing, as you can see there. But that does mean he has a 4-second gap to try and claw back, just like Trex. But at the moment, I don't think it's going to be enough, as Beckenham already has accumulated quite a few penalties. So I think resistance may be futile there.
Well, to be fair, if Beckenham's enough penalties, well, I've got to say that could give Lukey a position. But then if Lukey's 10 seconds get added, that could also give Beckenham it back. So God knows what's happening here with the positions.
At the moment, the only positions we know that are solid stuck at the moment are the top 3 at the moment. The rest of them, for the Exclaim and Skyline, there's nothing going to change apart from potential positions in the midfield. As you say, is the best here coming out like the last.
But it kind of looks like the racing. That's of what you're going to see.
Essentially cruising home. The cars on the block and just get what they want. But so far, that just down of Michael. He was following him, essentially race to try and close that, potentially get the spot back, go overtook him. But it's just one of those things in racing. If you have the pace, you have the pace. But if you just can't get it past the guy in front, then there's nothing more you can do apart from to try and send it down the inside. As we have a yellow in sector 2, which has just been withdrawn. As Lucky gets another 3-second time penalty. So I think that's just going to put the final nail in the coffin for Lucky, as he already has a 10-second penalty anyway. So that's just going to change the position a little bit to 6th for him, as it's not really going to affect much more. Is JB still going on that little one stop that he's started on?
Did he? I thought he'd done more than one stop. Hang on.
No. I do apologise. He did start on supers, went to softs, then some unknown reason has went to
bizarre reason. Yeah, some bizarre reason.
Yes. So as we're just literally just watching now, Michael Cruz. Yeah. If we did postpone the stream another couple of weeks, we could potentially have PlayerUnknown's Battleground for the Xbox One, but I don't think we really want to at this moment in time. As
well, at this point, the reason I say nothing interrupting that stream is because my boss is currently talking about maybe working that Saturday. But at the moment, there's no guarantee if that works. So at the moment, it's still for scheduled for then.
Well, until we get other notifications, we will obviously let you guys know what that outcome will be from HLG's asshole of a boss.
Sort of a good word. Luckily, she won't watch this. It's a fucking Land Rover and an Audi and a Mini. So, hey ho.
One of my bosses has got a Mini as well. Snap. So as we're just watching Trex here in second place, just cruising. He has actually closed that gap down to 3 seconds, but it's not going to be enough to try and close back up to Martin. He potentially maybe even did a bit of fuel saving because he's actually starting to close that gap down rather quickly now. The only way he's going to manage to actually get past, will close up to him, is if he manages to claw back like 3.5 seconds in the next lap.
It is a lot to ask considering we're on 34 of 35, and well, we're not far from starting 35 to be fair.
Yes, we're midway through sector 2. You should just see Michael flashing at screen there as we're looking at Trex. Yeah, this is one of the key tracks of F1. You need to have the good balance between fast for the first and third sector, but yet you need to have a lot more downforce for that middle sector, as it is tight and very much fourth gear through it all until you obviously start climbing back up the box to the end, towards the end of the lap.
Yeah, the setup differences around here. The setup differences around here are quite substantial. I think last night we had 1 or 2 people running like 11.11 or trying to until the game glitched out, and nobody was going to 11.11, and then you have like, I think I was running like 9.8, and then you have a couple people who run it the other way around, so it's like an 8.9. So people do vary their setups around here.
Yeah, just finding the balance. As we see, I think Michael's actually come up to the back of Skyline, if I saw that correctly. Let's see.
Possibly.
Yes, he has actually come up to the back of Skyline.
Can Skyline stopping lap? But you know, hey ho.
Clear enough gap. So it's not really going something. As Trex has dropped a huge chunk of time. He was only 4 seconds.
He must have made a huge mistake. Oh, and he's sideways there as well. Unless that was lag, but that looked like he was sideways there as well.
Very interesting. But it is the banana car that's come around the final turn. He started on pole, and he did have some good battles, as he's just going to let Michael finish. As Michael win Grand Prix at the Hungary here in Budapest. He's got a 12-second gap back to Beckingham. As just suddenly dropped down to 4th. So what's happened there? Beckingham's managed to pass them. But you need to remember, Lucky has that 10-second penalty plus whatever penalties he's had.
True.
So it's Michael from Trex.
And hang on, was that a change of... That was
the best is in Beckingham. Let me just get a quick note of that.
So I need to invite Michael Trex and I's the best. God, comparing to him,
no, he's been shunted down. But he does have, Lucky does have a 10-second penalty, so Beckingham is in 4th. And yes. Well, that is the race. Michael, if you'd be ever so kindly of getting these guys into yes, Martin, if you would be ever so kindly get these people into the party, and we can conduct the after race celebrations. Don't forget to include your audio, gentlemen, when you do join.
I don't have track my recent players. I have to wait to get back to the lobby for that one.
Michael will be able to invite them.
Oh yeah, I don't have I's the best either for some reason. Thought I added him.
Again, Michael could do that. But once we've got all these guys, as you saw there, Sarah Attabio for the Renault team, happy that his Renault driver came out top with the McLaren Honda, which is really weird to say McLaren Honda on the podium. But yes, see there will be a 10-second penalty added onto the time of Lucky, which means Beckingham gets 4th and Lucky gets 5th. JB Racer, if you wouldn't mind quickly taking a screenshot of that, Martin, that'd be ever so kind of so we can get the final positions. And so yeah, it's been a very good race. We have Michael, Trex and I's going to join us. We have Michael already here. We just need Trex and get with us. We can start conducting the celebration with them. there is Eyes the Best. Don't forget to include your audio. We just need Trex now to join us as well, if he is even here. Get the guys.
We'll give him another minute or so. I have chucked him an invite. If he doesn't join, we'll just have to go with these two.
Yes, I will quickly send him an invite myself, to be honest. So, as we unfortunately are looking at the screen, so yes, if we can get the lads into the party, that'd be very, very well done. We just need Trex to join us, but if he unfortunately doesn't join, then we have 2 people to do questions with. So as we're just waiting for Trex to join us.
I'm not sure if he even has a mic.
Yeah, I think we might just have to go without him. But a little bit of information as he just the message, the group message, fucking English, I can speak it, is that the reason that Michael got him apparently was because his game froze and then started working again. So that could have had something to do with it.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but never mind.
Hey, no, I mean, yeah. So, Tom, would you care to start the questioning?
Yes. So, Michael, you essentially had that race done from start to finish. What was your secret to actually having to win here, essentially, as it is such a difficult track for, well, setup and overtaking, really?
Well, first of all, I would say that was not a race I had done all the way through, because Drex beat me off the start. So,
yes.
Do you want to rephrase it?
Yeah, you might want to rephrase that.
You
want to rephrase that a little bit?
I will rephrase that, yes. So you started on pole, unfortunately you lost in turn 1. Was it still down to your strategy, or was it just because of your setup that you managed to actually overtake and keep the lead after you overtook him?
Well, yeah, he fair and square beat me off the start. I thought I had turn 1 covered, but he got me. Yes, it was just a case of, I knew it was difficult to overtake at this track, as you probably know. So I thought the only thing I was going to do in strategy, I figured by lap 6, I thought, I'm not going to overtake this guy because he, we were evenly matched. So I thought, undercut. So I pitted and made sure, as soon as I came out the pits, put it onto rich mix and nailed that, that outlap, that first lap on the softs. And that's what got the gap. And then from there, it was just managing the gap from myself to Trex. Obviously, making sure I don't get too many penalties. I did, and unfortunately, he did as well. So I was a little bit nervous. I was a bit nervous coming up behind Digital. I don't know whether you saw that when he hadn't pitted yet. Gave me interesting space on turn 1 when I tried to overtake him. But yeah, apart from that, that was not an easy victory because he was pushing me the entire way, but that was a good battle, I thought.
Oh, it was a very good battle, I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately for him, he did have a little bit of an issue somewhere on his outlap on the Super Softs. We didn't manage to see it, unfortunately, but whatever you did on that in-lap or the outlap after your Super Softs, you managed to put in a blistering pace to get a 3-second gap. But unfortunately, since Trex isn't here, we have to move on to 3rd place. That would be the one, the only, Eyes the Best. Well, for you kind of didn't have it so easily. You had to actually battle quite a few people. You had to battle Bacon Yum, you had to battle Skyline, you even had at one point a 4-train battle with JB Racer and Lucky. What was your mentality when you were in that? Were you just trying to keep ahead of them, or just trying to wait for one of them to make a mistake?
I'm not too sure. I was surprised to be in that situation because I was saying to Michaels, I literally done about 35 minutes practice. to be battling, I was a bit, oh dear. But I thought I'd put it in lean and just stayed with the train and just kind of assess the situation, and then made a good move on, is it optical, was it? Into turn 1, and that opened me up to catch Skyline, and then once I got rid of Skyline, it was just a case of getting the gap down to Bacon Yum, which I managed to do on the first stint. And then he was catching me like God knows what on the last stint. And lucky enough, I beat him, but I don't know what happened on the last but one lap, but I lost it on the curb, I think. And lucky enough, he got enough penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't see what actually happened to yourself, but we were kind of trying to watch, see what was going on otherwhere. Well, the whole race itself was action-packed. We'll hope to see more of this to happen in Belgium next week. You can catch, like we've already discussed earlier, you can catch the race for the GP2s with your race winner and Craig Senna, who unfortunately had a bit of a dismal time tonight. And then you can catch us for the F1 race next week at Belgium as well. So from the podium finishers, it's good night.
Good night. I'd like to finish off by saying BST Digital has handed resignation after that race. He's just told me.
Yes, he has, and he messaged me before. I didn't actually get to open my message on, unfortunately. So, like I said, it's goodbye from the podium drivers.
Yep. Evening. See you next week in Belgium, guys. Those that watched.
And it's goodbye from myself and Martin. Martin.
See you later.
Yes, and like I said, we'll catch you guys next week for the same, and we'll see you in Belgium.